we are going to look at the passive voice today. We will talk about what it is, why we use it, and how we form a passive voice sentence correctly. So, how do you structure a sentence with the passive voice? If you are one of those who like a grammar formula, this will be a good lesson for you as well, so please watch carefully. As some of you may appreciate, grammar formulas make learning new grammar concepts a lot easier. So we will start with the active voice structure. In active voice, whoever or whatever is doing the action comes at the beginning and we call it the subject. Then comes the verb in the middle, telling us about the action, and at the end comes our object. The man at the shop repaired my laptop. If we want to change this passive voice, we swap things around a little bit, and by a little, I mean we bring the object to the beginning, move subject to the end, and we put the word by before it. Middle bit is a bit fiddly, but not too bad. The verb stays in the middle, but it goes in the past participle form. Repaired is already in the past participle form, so we don't touch it, but we must add to be before it. Because repaired is in the past tense, to be turns into was. And the sentence becomes, my laptop was repaired by the man at the shop. The ending sounds long and unnecessary. I don't really care who repaired it, and I don't really know who repaired it. What matters is that it was repaired. So I can say, just to make this ending shorter, my laptop was repaired. Or alternatively, I can say, my laptop was repaired at the shop. All these versions are correct and there's nothing wrong with them. Once we look at why and where to use passive voice, you'll be able to judge this a bit better. Let's have a look at present tense. My father cleans the house every Friday. Pause the video here and see if you can work out the subject, verb and the object. Now, we will follow our pattern and move our object to the beginning and our subject to the end with a by before it. Our verb is in the present tense. We're going to change it into participle and make it cleaned. And to be, because our tense is present, is going to be is. The house is cleaned by my father every Friday. If I would like to use a fronted adverbial, I can say every Friday the house is cleaned by my father. Let's have a look at one more example. Let's go with the future tense. My father will clean the house. We will use the same pattern here and move our object to the beginning. Our subject will go to the end. Of course, we will put by before it. Our verb is cleaned is going to be a participle and turn to cleaned, and we are going to put to be in the future, which is will be. The house will be cleaned by my father. Present perfect is also straightforward. My father has cleaned the house. Pause it here and see if you can work out the subject, the verb and the object. And let's follow our pattern. The house will move to the beginning as the object and becomes the subject. My father will go at the end of the sentence. And as you guessed it, we're going to put a by before it. Our verb is already in participle. We're just going to change to be to present perfect form, and the house has been cleaned by my father. If there is any time indication, you can use those as fronted adverbials or put them at the end. 4 years the house has been cleaned by my father, or you can say the house has been cleaned by my father since we moved in. Continuous and progressive tenses are also straightforward. We use the same pattern. The house was being cleaned by my father. The house is being cleaned by my father. And in the future, the house will be being cleaned by my father. Although we never use it, we always use present progressive for this. Well, how about the modal verb passive voice? they are actually really easy as well. All you have to do is our usual swapping around and put the word be between the modal verb and the verb. Can be cleaned, should be cleaned, and must be cleaned. In the hypothetical form, instead of be, you put have been, as in must have been cleaned and should have been cleaned. This one comes for the formula lovers out there. Please follow this table carefully and it will show you what you need to add in each tense. You can pause here and take a screenshot if you like. And this brings us to the end of part 1. In part 2, we will look at why and where we use the passive voice. So let's start with this one. First use you will often see is when people do not know who does the action, or when it actually doesn't really matter who does the action, because the emphasis is on the object that is being affected by the action. For example, the letters have been typed, or a warning has been given to him for his bad driving. The focus here is not who typed the letters or who gave the warning. If you look at the active sentence examples at the top, you will see the emphasis is on actually the subject who is doing the action. If you look at the passive voice examples at the bottom, you will notice that the emphasis moves away from the subject and it moves on to the fact that the watch was fixed. Let's have a look at this one. Some painters painted the school in the summer holidays, someone painted the school in the summer holidays. We know the school is painted, but we don't know who's done the action. So we can say the school building was painted in the summer holidays. If it was a group of students did it and we want to put the emphasis on there, then we can say the school building was painted in the summer holidays by some volunteering students. And this would tell us who did the action. Another use of passive voice would be the news headlines. Houses were destroyed by the hurricane. Here, it doesn't really matter what destroyed the houses, the focus is on houses being destroyed. In the second one, people were left homeless in 1999. There might be many reasons as to why, but the focus is on the fact that people were left homeless. You can also see passive voice being used when the speaker does not want to put a blame aspect in their sentences. Let's say two children are playing and something is knocked over and broken. Now, the child can go and say, the vase was knocked over. It could be because she doesn't want to be a snitch and blame the other person, or she has broken it herself and doesn't want to take the blame for it, or she simply doesn't know who did it. In another example, we could look at the teacher's case. If a teacher is complaining in the classroom that there are noises being made, he or she can say, funny noises are being made in my lesson, without putting blame on any of the children. Or he can say, my lesson is being interrupted, if he doesn't want to single out anybody causing trouble. Or he simply doesn't know who is messing around. Sometimes people will also use the passive voice when they do not want others to think that they believe in what they are saying. For example, let's say I am one of those who actually believes the earth is flat. In a conversation, in order to check other person's reaction or opinion to this before I speak, I can say, it is believed that the earth is flat. What do you think? Instead of saying, I believe that. In another example, if I'm given a speech in a group and address some problems, which I am also responsible for, I can say some mistakes were made, but we must focus on how they can be fixed, without putting the blame on myself or the others. Okay, let's have a look what we have covered so far, and do a recap. You should use the passive voice when you do not know or don't care who does the action in a sentence. So the emphasis is not really on it. It doesn't really matter, or it's just not important. Like somebody fixing your phone. You want to simply avoid the responsibility, or you don't really want to get involved into what you are saying, as in believing that the earth is flat, or you simply do not want to put blame on somebody else.
Hi everyone. This video was made because someone has requested for a more detailed version to explain the rules and the uses of passive voice. If you have any requests or feedback, feel free to leave a comment. And if you found this video useful, Please share with others. Thank you for watching. See you next time.